Welcome to Kevin Makes Cool Things. I'm Kevin, and this is a custom Funko Pop I made of a friend. This is a Funko Pop-style caricature I did of a friend who I used to see fairly regularly. We weren't hanging out because of the pandemic, so a few weeks in, I thought it would be funny to make this. I figured that in a few months' time, I'd see him and I could joke that, during the pandemic I got lonely, so I decided to make a new friend. That was around a year ago now, so I'm hoping this still comes off as humorous and not just creepy. Oddly enough, as I'm recording this, I'm not actually sure anyone else will see it. If I'm actually posting this, it means my friend gave me the okay, which is great because I really enjoyed this project. It looks awesome and it was surprisingly easy. I knew from the start that I couldn't make something like this from scratch, so I approached it from another angle. I found a Funko Pop template on Thingiverse and imported it into OpenSCAD. First thing was the size. This was way too big, so I scaled down the height until it was around 4 inches or 100 millimeters. After checking that everything seemed plausible, I started on the head. The only thing I needed to do was add hair. My friend has a pretty simple hairstyle, and since this is a caricature, I wasn't too worried. Instead of trying to make the hair from scratch, I decided to create a second head that was 12.5% larger and then intersect it with a bunch of cylinders. These intersections with the larger head became perfectly contoured hair. This was one of the rare and wonderful times when something works even better than I'd hoped. The big challenge was the body. I considered leaving it as is and just painting the clothes on, but that didn't seem like much fun. I thought about making clothes using the same approach I used for the hair, but then I found a more elegant solution. I created some cones and manually positioned them to make shirt sleeves and pant cuffs. This clearly defines the clothing without adding unnecessary bulk. One thing about my friend is he always wears a belt with a Leatherman multi-tool. I added the belt using the same method I used for the hair. I positioned a cube where I wanted the belt to sit and created another body, one that was 10% larger, and then did an intersection. Afterwards, I positioned a cube on the belt to serve as the Leatherman multi-tool. And with that, I was ready to print. One big issue was how the pieces went together. I'm not sure why, but the connection between the head and the body was off. I didn't want to reprint either piece, so I used a bit of wood, secured with 2-part epoxy, to fill in the connection point on the head. After it dried, I sanded it down and used a Dremel tool to carve a hole so it could connect to the body. I sanded everything, applied some wood filler, and then did some more sanding. Finally, I epoxied everything together. It can't reliably stand because the balance is slightly off, and I didn't want this falling off a shelf, so I printed a simple base for it. I painted everything and added some details. I doubt anyone would notice, but I even added a dab of gold for the snap on the Leatherman. My friend wears glasses, so I printed a set of them. They're from a different model, and I roughly scaled them down to fit with the head. I ended up making them slightly too large, so I had to use a knife to shave them down so they would fit with the hair. During gluing, I used a bunch of rubber bands to hold them in place. Honestly, I'm pretty amazed it worked. I did some final cleanup on the glasses and a few other touch-ups. The trickiest part was the shirt. My first attempt was fine, but I thought I could do better, so I painted over it and tried again. Turns out, I was right. I really like how this turned out. I was worried it wouldn't be distinctive enough, but I was able to pack in a lot of little details, and it's obvious it's him. It's really whimsical and fun, and I hope my friend ends up liking it. Unlike my other projects, I'm not posting this model because it's pretty personal. I have included links to the STLs I used to make it in the video's description, so you should be able to make your own. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, then please like and subscribe.